Each kiss makes an appointment for the next. One in love fears no storms. He fears only the death of love. If you're not happy now, you're missing a heck of an opportunity. Love is a symphony in which the sweetest notes and kisses are played. A kiss can transform a farewell to a till we meet again. If absence makes the heart grow fonder, I'm flattered by your distance. What are you doing? The Playhouse poet? Did Uncle You ask you to come by? I think we're going to do the Playhouse. We don't need any Playhouse poetry. I'm sorry. Okay, goodbye. This episode is Sweet and Sugary. You're in the Playhouse. Welcome to the Playhouse. I'm Uncle Paul, and it's time for our very special hellos. Hello to Mark Moose and Elena, Beret, John Provost and Susan Olson. It's a pleasure meeting you. Peyton, Yuki Ame, Bookburger, Joel Swagman Reviews, Creepy Classics, Audrey, Bob, and Loretta, Jerome Luby, Matthew Street, Joe Mayo, Ed Katzovision, Paul Waters, Beetle Brad and Buddy the Dog, Mikey Arugula, Lee, John Melillo, Lux Furlong, Dave Sundstrom. Now, if you'd like a special hello, or like to dedicate a special hello to someone special in your life, please just leave it in the comments below and we'll say hello in a future episode. And that's our very special hellos for today. Well, today in the Playhouse, we're going to talk about, of course, the world of record collecting and some history behind it. Now, of course, a lot of Playhouse members might know this information, but hopefully we'll have lots to entertain you. Now, they call it vinyl collecting now in recent years, but of course we know them as records or albums. And there's 3 speeds that you could play always a recorded record on, and that's of course 33. But after it, which this is a kind of the language that's been lost over the years, it would be a 33 RPM and a 45 RPM and a 78 RPM. Now, that acronym, RPM, stands for revolutions per minute. Now, actually, so start with what today is known is the largest record album, right? Vinyl, to some of our younger Playhouse members. This is a standard album, vinyl, as some young people call it, right? So this measures 12 inches from left to right. Now, we're not going to measure all of them, but you may be surprised, and this is all Playhouse members, of how many sizes of records there are. As we just said, there's only 3 speeds. We're going to go back to the RPM. So this plays at 33, which is on all still modern turntables. But the acronym RPM after it, revolutions per minute, has gotten lost in time and history. Now, that necessarily means this is technically, but people didn't call it that. And our George Harrison fan members, I can hear you yelling right now. It's 33 1/3 revolutions per minute. That's the only one where the standard way that the albums are made to spin it actually makes a 33 revolutions and a third per minute. But it's much easier over the years just to put 33 on your record selector throughout the years. Now, of course, then there's the standard 45, the 7-inch. It's still made, of course, today, 7 inches, but it spins at, the rotations are 45 revolutions per minute as it spins on your turntable. It's an interesting fact real fast. When I was choosing this record, just as a demonstration for the Playhouse this morning, I noticed I have a We Can Work It Out that has a small capital logo. This is an original orange and yellow swirl. But, so, let's leave it in the comments, because I only found this morning, of what variation label this is. And I will say, now that we're just talking about records, so around this label, and the Apple Records had these as well. And we've never talked about this in our previous deep dives into record collecting. There is, I'm going to try and, there is a, like a train track that goes around the whole label. Very hard. And basically, that was meant, so again, on vintage turntables, like our Sears Solid State here at the Playhouse, you could pile your 45s up. So they had these ridges around the label, starting in the late 1960s, so that the records could attach to one another and grip better on these little train track type edges around the label. I don't know if you're hearing that. A little ASMR there. But anyway, yes, I'd love to know about the small, so this is the standard American orange and yellow swirl. We can work it out with the regular capital at 9 o'clock, but then this one's very small. All right, I digress. All right, so the last standard size is a 10-inch. And in the more vintage days, because they don't make, I don't think they even make turntables anymore that play at 78 revolutions per minute, the fastest speed. But this is basically how the early days of record pressings began. It's more of a shellac coating. And this is Party Doll by Buddy Knox. But this is a 78, and this measures at 10-inch. Now for a modern 10-inch, we have here on our Victrola, the Mickey Mouse Club spinning around, because we just wanted to show off some of our record players here. Now this record player actually does play at 78, but even though they manufacture the same size of 10-inch, this Mickey Mouse record store day version plays at 33. So they don't really make anything that plays at 78 anymore. All right, so we want to keep talking about the different sizes of records. Now, in amazement, now this is not a official size, but it is a playing record. This is the smallest record there is. This is the 2-inch. Now this really, though, was manufactured as a novelty for this particular little Victrola. Now, generally, we can't play any of the other music due to copyright violations, but on this one, we're going to demonstrate. If it wants to play, here we go. There it is. It's actually playing the 2-inch record. See? So it is even though it was not a commercial format, it is a real playing smallest record in the world. And that brings us to the 3-inch record, which was they thought that was the smallest record and smallest turntable in the world. Now, this came out, Crosley makes these turntables on a regular basis, but this was an exclusive Beatle version. Of course, that's where the Playhouse would need to have this, by, again, the Crosley Company, which is a very famous company for making turntables. And they created the 3-inch, well, they didn't create the 3-inch, but they made a special one for the Beatles. And this is the 3-inch commercially available record to be played on the 3-inch turntables. Now we're going to power this one up. Again, we can't play them for you, but we're going to demonstrate how it plays. You see? So there's, it's funny, they didn't make the orange and yellow swirl. They're all different colors. But this is All My Loving. This is part, again, of a record store day offering that came out. And you can control the speed here. They basically play at 45. So again, that's the 3-inch. That brings us to the 4-inch commercially available record. And this is actually, as far as I know, relatively new. There's never been any commercial available 4-inch records. Now, this is not a special plug for Target or anything, but these recently started popping up at the Target stores only here in America. And this is a 4-inch record. Now, they haven't done any Beatle ones yet, because believe me, the Playhouse would be showing you the Beatle ones, and we're anxiously awaiting some Beatle releases. But Target has this real playing 4-inch record, and it's nice. They come in a gatefold sleeve. It said we have this one for the Rolling Stones, Satisfaction. They have a collection of modern records, like the K-pop Demon Hunters you can get, all right, and Chaperone, right, Frank? But the classic artists as well, like Creedence Clearwater Revival, and of course the Rolling Stones. As I said, we're anxiously awaiting. But what to me actually makes these extra special in collecting is that on each record, especially on the classic ones, they replicate the original label, such as the Rolling Stones here on the London mini label for I Can't Get No Satisfaction. Again, I think they did a very nice job replicating the sleeve. And we're just going to, for fun, if it doesn't slip, show you that spinning around on the Victrola. And now the only problem also with these 4-inch records, there's not many moving tone arms anymore. But if you have a record player that automatically, the tone arm on our famous Sears Solid State, when it gets to the end of the record, the arm automatically lifts up. Well, you can't play these 4-inch records from Target, tiny vinyl they call them, by the way, on those, because this is as big as a label. So as soon as the tone arm gets to this part of the record, it lifts up automatically. So you can only play them on more modern record players that don't have a moving tone arm that gets to the end of the record. All right, so now we're going to get into the quite popular in its day, the 5-inch record, which mainly was used for cereal box records. Now, while adhering sound to cardboard dates back to the 1880s, that's as far back. This is now before what we know as vinyl records happened. It didn't really get commercialized till the 1950s and 60s, where adhering sound to cardboard was mainly used for promotional purposes. And we have a few samples of that right now. Like, see, now this is the Alvin and the Chipmunks cardboard record, but this was not what they call a cereal box record. This was just something that they sent out that you got free when you got a Alvin and the Chipmunks Soaky. Or again, here's the ideal Dick Tracy puppet record, which would give you the voices of your puppet characters from the classic cartoon vintage series, Dick Tracy. Or this is something that everyone seems to have had at the time. In 1969, the Burger King restaurant would give these out with your meal. So you would get the Pledge of Allegiance as so said by Red Skelton, a popular comedian for many decades. And this was, again, 1969. If you go to collector shows, and if they have any cardboard records, it's generally always this Red Skelton Pledge of Allegiance record. But there are a lot of promotional records made of that size, including this one made by the Mattel Corporation, again in 1969. Now this one is made out of a sturdy, heavy plastic. Now this does play, same thing, but this was actually made just by Mattel for their Rock Flowers doll line. You were supposed to take the figure and put her feet into these little holes, and then she would be around the spindle of the record and dance around and around as you played the record. These are very collectible. But, of course, Playhouse members, you want to hear about the classic cereal box records that are so popular and collected to this day. We have just a few examples. Now, again, this is the 5-inch. And these came on the back of cereal boxes. So, yes, there was a time, younger Playhouse members, that you could go into your supermarket and get your Rice Krispies, but then also get a free record that you would cut out from the back of the cereal box. And yes, it would actually play. So we're going to continue with the sizes of our records. Now, of course, we've shown you the 7-inch. We're trying to go in order. Now, the cereal box record is 5-inch. And yes, by the way, they generally played at 45 or 33. See, this cereal box record played at 33, the Monkees. And actually, see, this is funny. We're doing stuff live as we do it on the Playhouse. We go right here, and I said, it actually says here 33 1/3 RPM, which we were talking about before, revolutions per minute. But they actually bothered to put the 1/3 of the revolutions per minute. All right, this is generally this size was only used for children's records, but this is an 8-inch record. Now these also generally played only at 78. They're made again of a hard plastic, again, I guess for children too, the old non-breakable record. But this is a very popular line. You see these quite often. It's not a picture disc. This is all the label. The recorded grooves are right here. But yes, the 8-inch record. Now, of course, we've talked about the 10-inch and the 12-inch. So that in record sizing, even though, again, we have only 3 speeds, even though, to be honest with you, there was a 16-inch. And that was used mainly for radio theatrical purposes. But there was a 16-inch record. But it was not commercially available. And they had to use these in studios where they would have a turntable especially built, made for just 16-inch records. And they were generally very long presidential transcripts or something like that. So I would be remiss not to at least have shared that there was a 16-inch record. But yes, so we have the 2-inch, the 3-inch, the 4-inch, the 5, the 7, 8, 10, and 12. So that's 8 sizes for our 3 speeds of 33, 45, and 78. Well, I hope you've enjoyed our exploration, our very deep dive into the world of record sizing and speeds. And now it's time to check the comments bowl. But wait a minute. Well, this should have been in episode 23. Do you have your Bazooka Joe? It's a very popular Playhouse episode if you want to please view and check that out. But yeah, this is a nice Bazooka Joe tin, but let's see what's in here. Oh, yeah, some items we didn't get to show you. This is the Bazooka Joe squishy toy. That's fun. Yeah, nice Bazooka Joe race car. Another Bazooka Joe out of here. Oh, another car. Yeah. Playhouse, a lot of Bazooka Joe items. Again, that should have been in episode 23. Thought we'd show you that now. Oh, what? Here's the comments bowl. All right, so now we're going to pick out a comment at random that you've sent us. And this is about episode 18, Disneyana and Your Orange Bird Can Sing. And member Zorperplex said, I hope I'm saying that right, Zorperplex, because I know you watch many of the Playhouse episodes. Perhaps in a future episode, we may feature, the trolls that were very popular in the 1960s. Well, thank you, Zorperplex. And if you want to be in the comments bowl, that's all you have to do is leave us a comment. And while you're at it, please subscribe, hit the like, and comment so you can be in the comments bowl. But for now, the Playhouse is closed. Thanks, Joe Friday.